right, so this time we're going to talk about simple versus compound interest. At the outset, they may not seem that different, but the longer term that you're using these concepts, the more pronounced the difference becomes. So let's start with simple interest. Essentially, when you have simple interest, you're going to get a return based off of the initial amount of money you invest or contribute. So let's say you have $100,000 to invest and you're getting 6% simple interest. No matter how long you invest, you're going to earn $100,000 times 6%, so $6,000 per year for the entirety of the time that you invest. So you invest $100,000, and if you get 6% for 30 years, your total is $280,000. So here's a graphic that will show you what that really looks like. Again, you only earn interest on the initial sum that you put in. You don't earn any interest on your interest over time. So that's simple interest. Let's go ahead and talk now about compound interest. And the difference with compound interest is instead of just earning interest on what you put in initially, you're going to earn interest on your interest year over year over year. So with compound interest, year one, maybe your interest is $6,000, maybe a little bit more because of monthly or quarterly compounding. But then year 2, 3, 4, etc., you earn more and more and more and more interest. So with compound interest, maybe you invest that same $100,000, but over the course of time, earning 6% for 30 years, you end up with almost $602,000. Again, you'll see that on the graph provided. So pretty big difference. Just simple versus compound can give you either a total of $280,000 or around $602,000 over the same 30-year time frame. Now, people sometimes ask me, is there ever a time where simple interest is better than compound interest? I would say that there's two instances where maybe that is the case. If the gap between the simple interest and the compound is big enough, like say the simple interest is 10% and the compound is 3%, then maybe. But what it really comes down to is the time frame of which the compounding or the growth is going to occur. Again, we ran the $100,000 investment scenario one more time, and even over a course of 30 years at 3.5%, compound interest beat the 6% simple. So again, there is a possibility where simple could beat compounding interest, but it really depends on how big the gap between the two interest rates and then also the time frame that you're looking at. So to wrap this up, you really want to know simple versus compound interest, and it comes down to interest gained on just what you contribute versus interest gained on your contribution, plus the interest that accrues over time. We like to say that applied knowledge is power. At some point, you'll be faced with alternatives that might have one with simple and one with compound, and now you'll be even more prepared to make the right decision.